The SuperMarket Memoirs, Christmas at Barnaby's, written by CreepyGeeksta.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Barnaby's is proud to present from us to you the one, the only Santa Claus. That's right. Santa Claus will be here at Barnaby's December 21st through the 24th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So stop on by and visit Santa's little workshop located in the field behind the store and take home your free, that's right, free picture of your child or yourself with Santa Claus. Bring yourselves, bring your kids, bring your letters, and bring your list. As always, we thank you for shopping at Barnaby's. Have a safe and happy holiday.
What's up, y'all? I'm Daryl. I work in frozen foods here at Barnaby's. I've been here almost a year now. I got hired on the same day that lady's necklace got caught in the conveyor belt, but that's a different story. I'm also part of SPLAT. It's something that Pat came up with. It stands for Sales and Promotions Live Announcement Team. There are 3 of us in that team. Mike, the grocery manager, Ricky from the dairy department, and myself. Since we're all comfortable speaking on the microphone. Here's how it works. Every day that each one of us is scheduled to work, we have to take turns standing up at the front of the store and make announcements every 15 minutes for any products that are on sale that week or any special promotions that are going on within the store. Now, Barnaby's is a very old store, as I'm sure you all know. We don't have one of those big fancy PA systems like the big name stores do. We have to stand up front by the registers with a megaphone and make our announcements that way. It scares the kids sometimes. Anyway, I used to live in New York City. I moved out there about 10 years ago, and I tried to make it as a rap artist. But no one wants to hear an old school rapper like me nowadays. Now it's all that gangsta crap. Anyway, the other day I was sitting in my car on break listening to Bring the Noise by Anthrax and Public Enemy. I love that song. I like it better than the original. I'm a huge Public Enemy fan. I'm not a big heavy metal fan, but the song is dope. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, way back in 1991, the heavy metal band Anthrax got together with the rap group Public Enemy, and they did a rap metal version of the Public Enemy song Bring the Noise. It was monumental. It opened up a whole new genre of music for bands like Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, and many others. You guys should really go check it out. Anyway, Ricky apparently heard me playing that song. He came over and started stomping in place and headbanging and screaming, "Not," right in front of my car. I just looked at him like he was crazy. What the hell is this fool doing, I thought. I got out of my car, mid-December, freezing my ass off and yelled, Ricky, stop! What the hell are you doing?" "Man, I love Anthrax," he said. "My band covers some of their songs in our set. Man, play it again. Come on, man." "Okay," I said. "But don't do that anymore. It's scary. Get in the car. It's cold out here." He got in and we started talking as the song played, and come to find out, he plays guitar in a heavy metal cover band, but that's a different story. Anyway, I told him that I was a rapper, and he suggested that I meet the band and said that we should do our own rap metal song, and we should make it about Barnaby's. "I'm down with that," I said. I just started writing my rap part for the song, so do you want to hear it? Okay, it goes a little something like this. B to the A-R-N, A to the B, to the Y. My friend, we're at Barnaby's grocery store. You'll pay less and get a whole lot more. You never know what's gonna happen. That's what makes it so exciting. You know what they say about us being haunted, cursed, and all that stuff. Well, it's true, but you're gonna have to do. We're the only store in town, and you gotta have food. Anyway, that's all I've got so far. It's kind of whack, but it's a work in progress. Anyway, enough about me, and on with the story. Now, Pat is big on Christmas. And when I say big, I mean really, really big. Last year, and every year before, so I've heard, he would dress up like Santa Claus and hand out candy canes. He'd take pictures with the kids and their parents in his little workshop out back. He also made everyone that worked here, at the time, dress up like elves, complete with hat, red and white striped leggings, the vest, and little bell booties. Well, everyone except for Catherine, the assistant manager. She dressed up like Mrs. Claus. Yeah, those two are like pencil and paper, if you know what I mean. They try to keep it on the down low, but it's pretty obvious to everybody. Now, not everyone looks good in an elf suit. I, for one, look like Homie the Elf. And Homie don't play that. But a job's a job, and Pat pays me bank, so I did what I had to do. On the other hand, some people look really, really good in an elf suit. Like Lily, the Native American woman that runs that memorial place out back, but that's a different story. Yeah, I'd like to find her under my Christmas tree. Anyway, Pat had to have been collecting Christmas decorations since the 1940s or something like that, because it was off the hook how much stuff he had. Plastic Santa Clauses, giant nutcrackers, blow-up reindeer on the roof, icicle lights, candy cane fences, snowmen that danced, and about 25 Christmas trees, all with different colored lights and ornaments, among many other things. If you named it, he probably had it. There was stuff everywhere, outside and inside the store. There were wreaths hanging from the ceiling, garland draped all over the registers. There were even Christmas bows on all the shopping carts. It was crazy. One of the former employees named Jimmy, who works at the ASPCA. But that's a different story. Anyway, he knew a guy that ran a reindeer farm. He brought down 8 tiny reindeer and a little guy with a plastic red nose for the kids to pet and take pictures with. They were set up in a fenced-in area next to the workshop, and they also slept there at night. Jimmy slept with them. Now, I'm an animal lover myself, but that guy is on an entirely different level. There was even a huge, life-sized nativity scene on the other side of the workshop. After all, that was the real reason for the season. Anyway, Pat would start the day after Thanksgiving and spent the next month setting it all up. He kept it all in 4 huge storage units down the street. That's how much stuff he had. He asked for volunteers, but most people volunteered before he even asked. Some people from town volunteered as well. I helped decorate the inside of the store. Those reindeer really creeped me out. They kept looking at me funny, like I was their dinner or something. Oh, no, homie gotta go, I said to myself. I did find out later that reindeer love fruitcake, but that's a different story. Pat and the crew spent every day and night putting all of it together for the big reveal. You could see the statues and decorations in the daytime, but you wouldn't see the inflatables or the lights until then. Anyway, he even had several of those artificial snow-making machines for the first time last year. He said that he found them on the curb in somebody's trash. He then fixed them up and put them on top of the roof, pointing in different directions, so that it would snow when the lights came on. There were wires and extension cords running everywhere. all connected to this huge industrial-sized surge protector with a long red and green striped handle with a plastic snowball on top. It was then plugged into the outside wall socket. Now, the rest of the Splat team and I spent the entire month of December making announcements that the official lighting of Barnaby's would be December 23rd at 8 p.m. Everyone was truly excited. Anyway, reveal day came. Many customers, people from town as well as the neighboring towns, showed up for the event. It was mandatory for all Barnaby's employees to be there in our elf suits, so I was, along with everyone else. There were husbands and wives, boyfriends and girlfriends, girlfriends and girlfriends, and boyfriends and boyfriends. A lot of people even brought their dogs, dressed as reindeer, no less. And there were, of course, kids everywhere. So many people showed up that Reggie, the town sheriff, had to block off the entire street. There were people standing in the road, on the grass of neighboring buildings, on the roofs of their cars, and hanging out of windows. It was insane. Candy was selling coffee and hot chocolate in little Barnaby's coffee cups for $5 a shot, as well as Barnaby's hat, gloves, and scarf sets for $7 a shot. Ricky and the band were playing Christmas songs on the back of a flatbed semi-truck. Lily was handing out plastic candy canes that read "Mewi Coestamas," which is Cherokee for Merry Christmas, by the way. People were singing along and holding their lighters in the air and just having a great time. I hadn't seen anything like that since the one time that I went to Times Square to watch the ball drop on New Year's Eve. Anyway, 8 o'clock came and Mr. and Mrs. Claus came out the front door of the store. Santa quieted everyone down using the megaphone. "Quiet, quiet everyone," he said. The band stopped playing and a hush fell over the crowd. "Mrs. Claus and I would like to thank each and every one of you for showing up here tonight," he continued. "We especially want to thank all of the wonderful volunteers who helped make tonight happen. We hope you like it. Are you ready, Mrs. Claus?" he asked. "Ready, Santa," she replied. 10, 9, he started. The crowd joined in. 8, 7. The drummer then joined on beat as everyone continued. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mrs. Claus then pulled the handle. "Oh crap! I gotta make another announcement. Give me a minute. Now, where is that megaphone? Okay, got it."
Attention Barnaby shoppers, let me ask you something. Everyone knows how to leave milk and cookies for Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. But what about Rudolph and the rest of the gang? I'm sure that they'll be hungry too. Now you may ask yourself, "Hey, self, what do reindeer eat?" Well, here at Barnaby's we have the answer, and it's corn. No, not that 90s rock band corn. They won't taste very good. No, it's fresh, delicious, wholesome corn on the cob. That's why right now in our produce department, you can take home 5 ears of corn for just $1. That's right, not 3, not 4, but 5 ears of corn for just $1. Man, you can't even buy a decent cup of coffee for $1 anymore. So, stop on by and pick up yours today. And make Rudolph and the rest of the gang very happy, or they might just leave some unwanted presents on your front lawn, and you don't want that. I'm gonna go get mine right now. I'll see you over there. And as always, we thank you for shopping at Barnaby's. Have a safe and happy holiday.
Okay, so now that that's over with, back to the story. Anyway, Mrs. Claus pulled the handle. Barnaby's lit up so bright that I swear you could see it from space. People began shielding their eyes from the light. It was that bright. Seconds later, they removed their hands from their eyes and started clapping and chanting, "Barnaby's, Barnaby's, Barnaby's. Merry Christmas, everyone," Santa said. The crowd began pointing and smiling at all the different decorations. As they began filtering onto the property, amazed at the sights, as the snow machines created snow that filled the air. There were blinking, multicolored lights bordering the entire building, as well as the doors and windows. Even the candy cane fence, the reindeer pen, the nativity scene, a giant blow-up Santa and reindeer team on the roof, mechanical snowmen, various sized decorated Christmas trees, and even a film projector showing the claymation classics on the west wall of the building, among many, many other things. Ricky and the band began playing more Christmas songs as Santa and Mrs. Claus began mingling with the crowd. It was quite a presentation. I was impressed, and I don't impress easily. Anyway, everything was going great. Until, suddenly, several loud bangs were heard, one right after the other, hushing the crowd and stopping everyone in their tracks. Thick, black smoke and sparks began to pour out of the snow machines as they began to shake and shoot large chunks of ice directly into the crowd. People began to run for their lives, screaming. Ricky and the band hopped into the cab of the truck to take cover. Jimmy let the reindeer out of the pen, and I kid you not, they all began to fly through the air and landed on the roof of the bank across the street. Jimmy ran into the woods behind the store. Candy hid behind the big empty propane tank at the back of the building next door. I hid behind Pat's big Barney bus and peeked my head around to see what was going on. Anyway, several people got hit in the head and face with the ice chunks, causing them to fall to the ground dead as the crowd trampled over their bodies. Blood was pouring from their skulls. Several teenagers grabbed the large candy canes and began to play baseball, hitting large chunks of ice in all different directions. What the hell is wrong with these people, I thought. The baseball game was short-lived though, as the speed of the chunks rapidly increased and overtook the players. They quickly ran for cover. Just then, every single snow machine exploded, all at the same time, shooting large pieces of burning hot metal and flames into the air. The metal pieces came soaring through the sky like frisbees on speed, slicing, cutting, and severing people's arms, legs, and heads. Mangled bodies, severed body parts, and blood were everywhere. One guy got hit directly between the eyes, cutting halfway through his skull. He looked like something out of a punk rock concert. Blood began to pour out of his skull as he fell face first to the ground, knocking over a mechanical reindeer and driving the piece of metal completely through his skull. It was so disgusting. Anyway, the flames caught the blow-up Santa on fire, as well as all the other decorations on the roof. I started yelling, "The roof, the roof, the roof is on fire! We don't need water, let the..." Well, you know the rest, or, well, maybe you don't. Anyway, the decorations began falling from the roof, landing on the ones on the ground, catching them on fire as well. The fire spread quickly until every decoration, ornament, and tree was engulfed in flames, as well as the dead bodies that lay next to them on the ground. Let me tell you, the smell almost made me want to puke, and some people did. The smell of burning plastic and burning flesh is a smell that you will never forget. Anyway, the fire consumed everything, except for the nativity scene. The fire seemed to completely go around it, like it was protected by some invisible shield or something. And hey, maybe it was. Someone somewhere must have called the fire department because they showed up and put out the fire before it could reach the woods out back. It took them 45 minutes to do so. The police arrived to help control the crowd, take statements, and send everyone home. The ambulances arrived and tended to the injured, and the coroner came to remove the dead bodies and body parts. In all, 27 people died that night. Thankfully, all the employees, Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and all the reindeer were accounted for. They had to get a large crane from the construction site down the street and a large animal harness from a neighboring farm to get the reindeer off the roof. Why didn't they just fly down, I thought. Sometimes you see things that make you go, huh. Anyway, Ricky and the band climbed out of the cab of the truck and stared at all the damage. Ricky screamed out, "Rock and roll!" Everyone just stared at him as he slowly walked away. Candy climbed out from under the propane tank, found Lily, and they just left. Jimmy ran back from the woods and helped remove the reindeer from the roof. I went to the bar in my elf suit and I had a drink. Actually, I'm lying. I had a lot of drinks. Anyway, the following morning, Christmas Eve, Pat, Catherine, Candy, Ricky, Lily, and myself, as well as many other employees and townspeople, came to the store to assess the damage and clean up the mess. Pat just stood there in shock, mumbling to himself. I kind of felt bad for him. We all gave him a group hug and that brought him back to his senses. Now, to everyone's surprise, except Pat's, the store was fully intact. Everything except the doors and windows. The inside of the store was, for the most part, untouched. Pat then explained that that's the reason he decided to leave the store an all-brick building with a flame-retardant roof and flame-resistant sidings on Lily's memorial room. Bricks don't burn. We replaced the windows and the doors in no time, thanks to Bob from the hardware store down the street. He came in on Christmas Eve to help out with any supplies that were needed. So again, thanks Bob. Anyway, we cleaned up the trash and debris around the property, put it all in heavy-duty trash bags and tossed it in the dumpster next door, with permission of course. Pat then sent everyone home to spend time with their families and reopened the store on December 26th at 7 a.m. This year, several employees, including myself and many of the townspeople, gave some of our Christmas decorations to Pat to help rebuild his collection. Now, it's nowhere near what he used to have, but you gotta start somewhere. So, if you would like to donate any of your Christmas ornaments and decorations to the store, please send them to Barnaby's, 666 Dead Man's Lane, Nowhere, USA. Dang, it's time for another announcement. I gotta go, y'all. Merry Christmas.